Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm doing another video. Now today's video is of course TNS8 related, and today I'm going to be telling you about a theory I have. Now today's theory actually has some evidence behind it. A few days ago CBBC posted some really weird pictures. It was like some of the Next Step cast are on like a FaceTime call or something. So in some of them we had pictures of the cast member in the top left hand side, and then we kind of had a little sneak peek into certain places. So we had some which looked like Nationals, some which looked like the Next Step Studios, the cafe. So it kind of gave us a really good insight into season 8. So weirdly, in one of the pictures, Dani Vareo, or Cleo as she's called on the Next Step, was wearing an Acronation tracksuit. Now obviously when everybody in the fandom realised, it caused a lot of alarm, a lot of confusion, a lot of theories. It was very manic. So I wanted to do a video on why I think Cleo might be joining Acronation in season 8 of the Next Step. Now before I get into the theories, I just wanted to let you know these are my personal opinions. These are not official or anything. Some of you have messaged me and asking me how I know some of the storylines on the Next Step, but these are just all my theories. None of them are official whatsoever, so just take them with a pinch of salt. So theory number 1. So I think the Next Step are going to do a merge similar in season 3. That's kind of like one of my official theories. So if they do this, I thought it would be interesting if Cleo and Jude get picked out of the hat to face off against each other, very similar to the James and Riley situation. Now obviously Cleo feels really bad because she doesn't want to break Jude's heart. She's really worried that it's going to tear them apart because obviously only one of them is going to make the Nationals team. So as a result, Cleo decides that she's going to forfeit the competition because she knows it's just going to ruin their relationship, and she loves Jude too much for this to happen. And she also knows that if Jude does lose, it's going to knock her confidence and she's going to think she's not good enough. So at the end of the day, if Cleo forfeits, it's just going to make it an easy situation for them both. So obviously Cleo's devastated because she's worked really hard to get Petrie ready for Nationals, and her dream is to go to Nationals, so she still wants to make it happen. So once the competition finishes, Cleo hears that there is an open spot at Acronation who have managed to qualify for Nationals. So at this point we don't know how Acronation have qualified for Nationals, but we later on find out that they did a very similar situation to Elite, and they managed to sneak into another regionals, into another region, because this loophole still hasn't been fixed. So Cleo auditions for Acronation and successfully gets in, and then at Nationals Cleo goes head to head with the Next Step. So that was theory number 1. Let me know what you think of that one. There are 3 more, by the way. I'm only doing 4 theories because some of them are quite long. So theory number 2. So Cleo does get on A Troop, but she doesn't feel as if she's being featured enough. Now this would be a very similar storyline to Amy in season 3. Cleo is very passionate, she really wants to go far in the dance world, and she just feels as if the Next Step isn't featuring her. So she missed out on being dance captain, she's not being featured at Nationals in any dances, and she just doesn't feel as if the Next Step want her. She just feels lost. So Cleo sees Acronation advertising an open spot, and Cleo decides to go and audition. So she does let Jude know her plan, and Jude is obviously really concerned because if Cleo does get onto Acronation, there will only be 11 dancers. But at the end of the day, she's happy for Cleo because she just wants Cleo to be featured and just to be happy. So Cleo auditions for Eldon and Talia, and this is when we first see them back in season 8, and it would be nice to get an update on how their relationship is and how Acronation is, and it will just be an overall really nice scene. Talia and Eldon can see that Cleo has a lot of potential, however they are a little bit concerned because she doesn't have a lot of acro experience, but they decide to take the risk and put her on their team, and at the end of the day it works out well for them. Right, this next one is a very dramatic one. It's very schemy, it's very bad, and if this happens I will be disappointed in Cleo's character, but I wanted to put some kind of nice ones in, but this one is hardcore not good, so just prepare yourselves for this one. Cleo finds out that Acronation are going to Nationals and talks to Rochelle about it, and Rochelle explains how TNS beat them at regionals. Cleo feels as if this is unfair because if the Next Step beat them, the Next Step beat them, and why are they going to Nationals? Like, they didn't win. How did they qualify? So as a result, Cleo joins Acronation, but she secretly wants to take them down from the inside, just because she feels like Acronation shouldn't be at Nationals, and she feels as if they are bending the rules, so Cleo wants to take them down. So nobody on A Troop is aware of it, but then Cleo ends up telling Jude the plan. So Jude doesn't tell anybody, she kind of sees the concern Cleo has. However, when Acronation get to Nationals, that is when the trouble begins. So Cleo leaves Acronation moments before they are about to go on stage. So I was thinking at Nationals, nationals that they would start off nationals with a group dance this season, just because otherwise a lot of the dancers will not get to be featured. So it'll be like a group dance and male solos, female solos, duets, etc. And then the semi-finals and finals. So it'll be like a bonus round and it'll be like an introduction round. So Cleo leaves their team right before they're about to go on stage and rejoins the next step. So obviously the next step are like, excuse me, like, what are you doing? Because they didn't find a replacement for her because the names had been submitted, but they're really confused why she's abandoning their team. So Jude is starting to feel really guilty because she knows that she could have helped Acronation, and she knows that it isn't fair because they only have 9 dancers. They didn't have any alternates. Jude feels really bad because she knows that she could have told Acronation and she could have helped them find another dancer. So Jude decides to join their team just for that one dance to try and help them get into the next round. Now, obviously Cleo is fuming at her because she's like, how dare you betray me? Like, I was trying to help the next step, and she feels as if Jude isn't respecting that. So obviously Acronation do get disqualified, but Jude really wanted them to dance at nationals because she knows that they worked really hard. Cleo and Jude then have a massive argument on the side of the national stage, and it ends with Cleo storming off. So the end of the episode will be whether Cleo and Jude are going to stay together or whether it's going to affect the team at nationals. Now, my final theory is quite an emotional one. Like, it's not like really terrible like the scheming one, but it's kind of sad, so prepare yourselves. Cleo and Jude both auditioned for the female solo, so at this point they've already made a troupe, they both got in on the merge, and now they're auditioning for the small groups, the female solos, similar in season 2 how they made them all audition. So anyway, Cleo and Jude want to go for the female solo, so they help choreograph each other's solos, but Jude ends up winning and Cleo doesn't. So Cleo is so happy for Jude. She's really proud of her. However, she really wanted the solo and feels as if she let herself down because she wasn't dancing her best. She sees Acronation are looking for new dancers, and she does see that the female solo is up for grabs. Now, obviously Cleo wants the solo, and she is a little bit selfish at this point because she knows that if she gets the solo, it will be great for her, it will be great for her career, but it will be betraying Jude and the next step. So she's really torn whether to audition. Cleo does end up taking the opportunity and going to audition at Acronation, and she does successfully get in. So Jude is heartbroken that Cleo left the next step, but at the end of the day, she understands because she really wants Cleo to be happy. And if having the solo at another studio makes Cleo happy, then that makes Jude happy. So yeah, it does leave the next step in a bit of a lurch, but they kind of respect Cleo's decision. They still have 11 dancers, so they're okay. Obviously, they're a little bit upset with her, but they're not angry. They're kind of happy that she's found a new home and she's found a team which can really recognise her talent. So at nationals, Cleo and Jude do go head to head. Like, what were the chances of that? It's very similar to the Eldon and Daniel thing where they had to face off against each other, and also Michelle and Amanda. So anyway, Cleo and Jude face off against each other, and unfortunately Jude does send Cleo home, which means that the next step are going to the next round and Acronation aren't. So Cleo obviously feels really guilty. However, we're going to have a similar situation at the semi-finals where somebody injures themselves and then Cleo comes in to save the day, because I was thinking at this point somebody else could have left a troupe, so we have a very similar situation as we did in season 2 nationals. So it's kind of a happy ending in most of them other than like the third one, I think, but I don't actually know why Cleo's wearing that. It might not even be an Acronation tracksuit. It might just be one that looks like it. Maybe she's wearing someone else's. I don't even know. Like, it could be anything. But it's kind of made me excited because I think there's going to be quite a few big plot twists in season 8, and this is probably going to be a huge one if it comes true. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know your theories for this because I'd love to read them. And yeah, I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye, guys.